the horse bug was bit by it, and I didn't want to know about everybody else. I started going out too many afternoons, and we were jumping on quarter horses and racing them bareback through the woods and stuff like that, and bringing a 6-pack of Coors with us. But I was in love with the horses, and when I came home, I had a friend that was a groom for Allan Jerkins, and I said, "Man, you mean you can make a living with horses?" And he said, "Yeah." I says, and he brought me in, and I went to work on the track.
Speaking of Coors Lights, I know you and Allan Jerkins probably shared quite a few of those. Talk about your time with him.
Yeah, back then. It was a very special time. I loved being a groom, and he was certainly a character. He was you could learn something every day, and he'd make you scratch your head every day, and it was a very special place. And all the guys I worked with were great too. We had all the old Carolina grooms back then around us who were, their horsemanship was so superior. You'd never see a groom that could do what those guys do. They did magic. Just watching them give a horse a bath was a thing of beauty.
It truly is. And going out on your own, 1975, you had your first winner. Kind of got your start the blue-collar way, claiming horses, but you were ultimately successful with it. Over 25 years of $1 million in the earnings. Talk about some of those horses that you claimed. Who were some of your favorites?
Well, of course, Boomtowner, that's the one everybody goes to. He was very special. He won a ton of races, and he was a horror in the afternoon to ride. Diane Nelson rode him well. A lot of the riders were afraid, but Diane wasn't, and Frank Lovato did a great job. There was a horse, Golden Tent, we claimed off Gene Weymouth, who was just a really hard hitter. His PPs have been in the racing form for a few years. If you remember, that's the one they use to show that.
You also had a good relationship with owner Barry Schwartz, and he's given you some nice New York breds and some nice stake horses. Talk about your time and experience with him.
Well, I keep saying it, but it's such an odd thing, I think. We never had an argument in 25 years. And we knew how to read each other. It turned into a marriage. We picked up the phone and we heard the tone of voice of the other person. We know right away what kind of a day it is. I might hold off with some bad news for the next day, and vice versa. And Barry and Cheryl just couldn't be any kinder than they've been to me.
Mike, a lot of times trainers, they don't necessarily get to do this on their own terms as far as retirement is concerned. Talk about your decision just to bow out gracefully.
Yeah, we talked about that. I do talk about that with some other trainers, and they said nobody could think of anybody. Somebody, I got a text yesterday, Mac Miller. Yeah. I mean, 40 years ago. It's just the right time,
What do you do now? Do you get to be in Saratoga as a fan?
Well, I get to be in Saratoga and a fan, and one of my favorite things, I've been asked that question so many times, my answer is, what do I get to do? Whatever I want.
Amen to that.
That'll be something new.
Well, Mike, we surely enjoyed having you and just watching your phenomenal horsemanship. You truly will be missed, but we're also very happy for you.
Oh, thank you so much.